What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of our Brentford career mode, and today we have a couple games for you, as well as hopefully some transfer stuff. We have Manchester United in the league, and then we have Liga in, I believe, the last qualifying round before we get to the group stage, should we bypass the Polish side. Now, last episode we had 3 games there. We had Randers both times. In that first qualifying round, we won 6-1 in the final leg, 1-1 in the first leg. A bit harsh on Randers, the score, but it is what it is. And then a 2-0 loss to Chelsea, who had a very, very defensive plan and just hit us on the break twice. It was a bit annoying. But today, we've got a couple things here working. Hopefully we can get some stuff coming in the transfer market and possibly get a couple things in. And as you can see, we have, just to start here, Billy Gilmour has been loaned in, which gives us room to sell Janelt and probably help get a couple of more players in. And then Fosu, as you can see, also has been sold. Only played 5 times for us last year. Is just not going to do enough. But Billy Gilmour is someone, as you can see, 76 overall, in a pretty good spot. He's going to take Janelt's place as the backup to Bryant, because while Janelt's good, I want Bryant to take that spot. Billy Gilmour can back him up. In on loan for free. Just had to pay $28K a week for half his wages. And we're going to sell Janelt for $17 million. And we'll be able to take a look at some other spots in the team to hopefully strengthen, because we're going to need a deeper squad than the one we have now. We're going to need another player on the right wing, possibly another fullback, and then one more in midfield to back up to Silva, who doesn't really have a backup as of this moment in time. So we're going to have to go ahead and really prepare ourselves for the coming season, especially if we beat Liga and move into the group stage of the Europa League. But let's go ahead and start here with Manchester United. A tough game. A really tough start to the season, Chelsea and United. Hopefully, though, we can go ahead and do something here. We're going to have to make a couple of changes, as there are a couple of tired legs. We've had a lot of fixtures early on here. We'll get Mitchell in. And then I think we'll give Gilmour his first start here. We'll put him right beside Bryant and move to Silva over and give Ali Seda a position off the bench. But everyone else we're going to go ahead and roll with. So let's jump into this. Manchester United, Brentford. Let's go. TONEY doing very well here as he drags it into space. Back across here to Bryant. And that's a really good ball out there to Gilmour. And Gilmour here has a shot. It's a not so great effort for the debutant, but half hour gone. This is pretty much the first shot of the day. A whole lot of this being played in midfield. Oh, a bit unlucky there to not hold on to it. Moving the ball around. Here's Kane. Oh, that's a really good ball in. That's a good save. We get that ball out. Not quite. It's just touched on to Kane. It's Rashford now. Decent save at the near post there as that goes out. Oh, no, it does not go out. It is a foul. There's going to be a corner anyway. We're just a foot or two in front as that gets clipped in. And TONEY heads it away. Aarons is going to chase. McTominay's on it. And it's going to be pushed all the way back. Very, very tight this game. They're shot apiece pretty much so far, but they're doing well holding on to the ball. And they come again as that gets played into a good spot, and that's a good finish. There's the opener. United lead at Old Trafford. It's 1-0. It's Bruno Fernandes. It's a good finish. And a good find. There's an invisible player there. But that gets slipped in. Harry Kane does well to just make the space. That's a really good pass. Just to kind of know he's there. Really well done. A really good finish as well from Fernandes. And on 38 minutes, it's 1-0 to United. Here's TONEY. Bit of space for him. They slide that out wide. Really, really well done as Aarons is pushing on here, and Aarons sees Mbuemo. Oh, it didn't quite get there, did it? Oh, the opening was there, just couldn't quite get the pass. And now United attempting to break here is Kane. Van de Beek. Bit of space here for Fernandez, who does so well to turn again. This too. Fernandez is turning everybody. Every time he gets the ball, it just seems to turn at least one player. He's done it there. And on 57 minutes, it's 2-0. We're struggling now to get anywhere near United's goal. Oh, that's a really good turn. Another really good finish from Fernandez, who's been very, very good today. 58 minutes gone, it's 2-0. We have a lot of work to do if we want anything out of this. Oh, he's managed to step right through there, Fernandez. Fernandez is such a pain at the moment. Van de Beek on it. Kane did well to turn. Oh, what a ball across. It's difficult to mark. I'm not going to age jockey. I just hate age jockey. I think it's ridiculous. So we kind of just end up being turned with the players when we hold the left trigger. Okay, try and take the ball away here, and you just end up being turned all the way around. This is a really good ball across from Kane. But it's a hat trick for Fernandez. It's 3-0. It's surely game over with 20 minutes to go. Nicely played here. There's Ali Seda. Now to Balogun. And Balogun with a pretty good touch into space. And Balogun can't quite finish it. And he gets a lot of luck as he grabs the goal. He should have finished the first one. Unfortunately, it's saved. And then it kind of just hits him in the knee on the bounce back out. And then finds its way into the back of the net. It's just a consolation. But, you know, he'll take the goal, the youngster, as he hits it here. Yeah, it just comes back and hits him in the thigh and flies back into the back of the net. A very strange goal, but just a consolation as we were well beaten in the end today. Struggled to get anything going, really, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, these are two difficult games. And since we changed the difficulty, we knew these games here against the bigger sides were definitely going to be more difficult. Obviously, all the games are, but these are definitely going to be a struggle. So that comes into Mbuemo. Nicely done. And it's Balogun now. And Balogun wants a second and can't quite backheel that into Ali Seda's path. And that will do it. 3-1 the final. We lose here to United and start off the game with, or start off the season with no points from 2 games, though 2 very difficult games. And it is going to be a much more difficult season than we had last time out, I feel. It's going to be a struggle if we want to stay up around that 7-6 kind of spot moving forward. Obviously, we're going to try everything we can, but Janelle has been sold. So now, let's shift off our losses and move forward just a little bit here. We have a little bit of money, as an offer has come in for TONEY. Now, we've talked about these for TONEY as 7.5 again with Roma. I'm so sick of this. Ugh. I'm just going to accept it. I'm just going to get bullied into accepting it. It is what it is. We're going to negotiate this. I want to see what kind of... I mean, that's a £30 million center back they've offered up here. 82 overall. We're not going to take it because I would just rather have the money. We're going to remove exchange player, though, and try this just to see what we're feeling around here. Whoa. So they have accepted 70 million. Wow. So it looks like TONEY might be leaving just like that. I was hoping to get 60. Like, if I was willing to move Ivan TONEY on for 60 million, it looks like we're going to end up with 70 as another offer for Ivan TONEY's come in, as Leverkusen has offered 71 million. We're going to negotiate this because, wow, all of a sudden there's a bit of a turn of events here, as now we have a bidding war going on for Ivan TONEY starting at £70 million, which is remarkable, really. They were really stuck at 70. See if we can just jump it up just a little bit. They're stuck at 70. Well, I'm going to accept it because we accepted a touch less from Leicester, just 70, and that one was 71. But wow, what a turn of events indeed, as it looks like Ivan Toney may be leaving here, as Romero wants to play the next game. I don't care. I do not care. Not right now, Romero. We have more important things going on. So Toney has been sold to Leicester. £70 million for Ivan Toney. That is a ton of money, and it's I don't know if you guys are comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable. We have £93 million in there, and we can bring in another striker. No problem. And we can also maybe figure out all the other problems here. So what are we looking at? I mean, Isaac, dare we? 64 million. See, that's just out of reach a little bit. 55. Dembele, they want 40. Patrick Schick is a neat player. 30 million pounds neat. I'm not sure. Bril and Bolo would be a good one. 30 million. I mean, Vlahovic, of course. These are all decent players, but we're going to need a striker, and who do we go for here? Who do we go for here? I mean, the problem with Isaac is this is just not realistic in terms of anything, really. But especially priced for someone like Brentford. We're trying to do what we can in terms of, you know, realism. Does someone like Vlahovic and Bolo... We have other strikers down here, perhaps. Who was that? Oh, Maupai. It's probably not an option I'm looking into right now in terms of striker. Let's go back up here. So at the moment, I feel like I'm leaning toward Mbolo. We have a couple things to look at with Tammy Abraham, which would also be a good option. But I think I can get Mbolo for cheaper than Abraham. 31 million. Let's approach to buy, because we don't know exactly what it's going to be like, but Tammy Abraham would be probably the most realistic option on the of the bunch. I think Mbolo would be a decent enough option. We're going to offer a transfer fee. I'm just going to start it at 30 and see what happens here, because I think he's worth more. See, 60. That's just... That's just... Yeah. We're not going to pay 60 for Tammy Abraham. We're just not going to. That's too much money for someone like Tammy Abraham. Someone I don't particularly rate too highly in real life. Jack Clark is also an interesting option to back up on the right side as well while we're looking at it. But what about Vlahovic? He's pretty similar to Ivan Toney. Mbolo's like a different player. He's just a little bit quicker. Schick, similar to Toney, I feel like. Dembele, I kind of feel similar to Toney, even though it kind of just doesn't show up that way. 40 million for Moussa Dembele. That'd be a lot of money in real life. Maybe not as much in game. Maxi Gomez is just too much money. We're going to try out for Mbolo right here. 31 to 43. This looks like the striker I'm most interested in, really. And he had a really good tournament in real life. For Switzerland, let's offer a transfer fee. They want 41. Let's propose a new transfer fee. Let's go down 33. See what they like on that. 37. It looks like we might be able to get him for around 35, which I think is pretty decent money in this day and age. Just 36, fine. 36.7. We'll be comfortable with that, but I think that's pretty decent money for this day and age for the player a player of this kind of quality. You would think if he were to move in real life out off of Mönchengladbach after the tournament he had, this is probably the price you'd end up with, which isn't too bad. We'll just go with important. He's going to be the starter. Yeah, he wants to be crucial. That's fair enough. Contract length 4 years. We'll accept it. release clause. We're gonna accept no release clause. That caught me off guard for a moment. And he only wants 48K. We're gonna accept that because it's actually a pay decrease off of where he's at now at Southampton. So it looks like we have our striker in at the club, Bril Embolo, the new striker here at where are we? Brentford. Jesus, can't even speak. So there we go. New striker up front. He's not as good in theory on overall, but his physical attributes are, it's a different type of player. And hopefully we can get Embolo firing at the club, and we might even get him to grow a little bit more and go about it that way. Embolo, I rate. He's a good striker, powerful, quick. I mean, he had a heck of a tournament for Switzerland. I really think that way. So let's go back to the transfer hub because we have a couple of more things we could possibly do here, as we need a fullback and another midfielder, though I'm not sure the midfielders, have they been scouted? They have been scouted, some of them. Here's Veerman, Fofana. Let's just go to midfielders in general. We're going to need somebody. Oh, I accidentally removed him from the shortlist. We're going to need somebody to look at in midfield here. Someone to back up De Silva for the time being. And here, oh, see, we're kind of just waiting on that. So we'll wait on that, I suppose. Let's go out to right wing and see if we might possibly get someone in here. Elliott's a player I like, though. Elliott's just not realistic. 77 overall already. I mean, he's going to be a really good player. And this one's just not super... I mean, he's 19 now. What are we, 2 years? This is our third season in. If Elliott doesn't hit the ground running at Liverpool, I mean, do they move him for 30 million? Harry Wilson just moved. Cantwell, a little bit out of there. That's a little bit much for someone who's going to back up. The thing with Elliott is that he'll work himself ahead of Mbeumo in the end. As for a player like this, we're going to end up needing someone to go past Mbeumo's portion, or Mbeumo's time in the team. So he's just going to end up being a bystander, and eventually we'll need to buy someone who's just going to replace Mbeumo. You know what I mean? Maybe Elliott's just the way to go. Let's go for RV Elliott. I know this one may not be 100% realistic because I think he's going to have a good career at Liverpool. But we're 2 years, 3 years in the future now. If he doesn't work at Liverpool over the next year or two, I mean, could that happen? We'll start at 19 and see what they say. They want 23 with a 20% sell-on. We're going to remove the sell-on clause and just submit and see what that says. Wow, that jumped up quite a bit. Counter. I'll go down to 25.9. 26.9. The tough negotiating on this is you always give up more than you're willing to. That's just how it ends up being. We're going to negotiate, but it looks like we're going to get ourselves another player in. All of a sudden, that TONEY sale, I think it's better for just the team as a whole to get 70 million for Ivan Toney. He wants to be important. We're going to counter that. Can we go to rotation? He really wants to be important. We'll just accept it. He's going to get game time anyway. 5-year contract. No release clause is good. And then for wages, he's on 44K. Wow, 44K a week. Can we go down to 30 possibly and give him like 300K signing bonus perhaps? He's comfortable with it. So we brought down the wages as well and bought in a player who is going to be very, very good, and maybe in a year or two the starter on that right-hand side. Not just yet. I want to give Mbeumo some more time out there. Problem with Mbeumo is he just has not wowed me over there, so it's I've just been a touch disappointed with Mbeumo, but that's okay. We're not going to get rid of him or anything just yet unless a crazy bid comes in. Someone had bid 40. If we can get 55, 60 for Mbeumo, I'd definitely move him. But it is what it is. So the only spot we're missing now is midfield and right back, which we will take a look at in a moment. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in a right back here. I don't think we'll get to the Ligia game, but can we get a right back in? Who do we want to get in here? I mean, try and revive the career of Moussa Vague, who's kind of faded away a little bit. He's only 23. He's one of the younger options here. This is probably the option. Moussa Vague can play right back, can play left back as well. 23, rather cheap. 9 to 12 million. I mean, that's a good option there from Cardiff, who I don't believe are in our league anymore, I want to say. But, I mean, this is a pretty good player to just start and back us up. We'll just start with 10 million. What is this? They want Bryant. What is that, a joke? Remove exchange player. Offer transfer fee. There's no way, Bryant. That's a joke. Alright, so they're comfortable with 10. Maybe I just started a little bit high, but we want them in. And we have a little bit of extra money after the thing. So what we're going to be able to have now as well is a little bit of money left over, maybe, obviously, for that midfield spot. We're going to go with rotation. No. So you need to... We'll accept it. I hate the squad roll thing, how you can't, like, adjust that. Hell, he's going to get game time. He's just not going to get as much game time as he likes. And we'll probably be able to sell him on at a profit in a year or two if he wants to leave. So, it is what it is. Currently, he's on 20K. We'll just leave him on that. Give a 100,000 signing bonus. He wants 23. That's fine. That is fine. It is what it is. But, I mean, that's pretty good. It is what it is. It's pretty good is what it is. So, the only spot we're missing currently is midfield. We're going to wait for those midfield things to come back in. But we have ourselves another fullback. Dervisoglu. I mean, he's just going to stay down there. We'll swap out Inguyamsa for Vague on the bench because Vague can play both sides. So, yeah. So, we're in a pretty good spot in terms of everything, really, except having another midfielder here. I might want one more, you know, low overall kind of cam as an other option, because right now we're missing Pereira there, and just having Ali Seda and then moving one of our other midfielders forward is kind of an issue. We can take a look at some of the cams, but I don't see, that's not a position I want to spend 10, 15, 20 million pounds on, as we only have 19 left anyway. So we're just going to hold off. We'll just hold off, and then we'll see what happens next episode in that kind of term, because we're going to need a backup. We have 19 million, and getting just the backup midfielder is pretty good for me. I'm comfortable with that. None of these guys, they're just too expensive, but if we can get some of the other midfielders we're looking at down here, you know, Callum McGregor, Makengo. I mean, these are players who are 24, 25, 26, 27, you know, who aren't going to command a ton. They're not going to grow any, but hopefully they're comfortable being, you know, behind maybe De Silva or anything like that. But if we could also get a really, really cheap cam. I mean, Harry Wilson's too expensive. He's also just moved. McAllister here, 80 overall at 23 is just too much. So we can take a look at some cams. I'll probably add some to the list, but just, you know, emergency backups in that position is pretty much what it's going to have to be. And he's just going to have to be comfortable with it as well. So it's going to be difficult to find a player like that, but, you know, we'll see going forward, guys. But that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you folks, of course, have enjoyed it. Let me know how you guys feel about the signings. And obviously the huge sale. But for now, guys, that is it. So peace.